This is the Jefferson Memorial, right, Don?
I
Yeah,
think
I think
so,
so.
yeah.
Oh, I can't hold it still. Whoopsie. Hit the bump. No, no. Okay, we're at the Dwight D. Eisenhower farm, just outside of Gettysburg in Pennsylvania. And we just took a tour of the home. I think I'm moving a little bit too fast and a little bit jerky here. He said Mimi Eisenhower put $200,000 into this to renovate it. Okay. Jack and Helen and Bob. Look at this. Okay, wish the guy turned that lawnmower off. That would help. They have a windmill. They just up, up, up. Okay, let's see this funny fireplace. Look after my own heart.
There's raised things that they plant stuff on.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever, I don't.
Yeah, I just throw.
I do that with mine.
Good, yeah.
So this isn't moving for me here. I just goofed something up there. I don't know what. That's okay.
A couple of
Indian cigar. Yeah. As long as they fall off for your first cigar. So. Here's the shed.
house looks older, though, to me than when they say she had it built.
Okay, well, that's the 50s,
Well,
early
this is in the
50s.
50s.
That's
In the
45.
50s,
That's
we
40.
lived in Pittsburgh in a house that looks better than that now.
That's 40 years ago.
The silent house we
Well,
had.
ours was.
Okay, this is the back of their house, right?
Yeah.
And some visitors. How would you like to mow that backyard, Ben?
Not bad.
Get a picture of this bus that brought us on here. Now, what was the name of this bomb? The Eternal Peace? No, wasn't it had something to do with peace? Eternal Flame. We'll find out later and tell you later. Okay. I'm going to zoom in on the people on there. Well, I'm not holding this very still, Helen. I must be at an angle or something, and I'm going to flip over. Okay, now we got it.
Okay.
Okay, this is General Lee, and they said it's the only Southern gentleman in the whole park, and that's the Horse Traveler. What, Helen?
The valor and even the humor of the men who fought. But often, now managed by the National Park Service as the Eisenhower National Historic Site. Cecil's home was nearby, just north of Harrisburg. His first independent Army command had been at Camp Colt in Gettysburg in 1918. The general loved this area, and as the farmers piled up the stone to use as field boundaries. The Confederate soldiers found walls like these very handy to hide behind for protection and to help shelter some of the cannon. Incidentally, this tour avenue didn't exist during the battle. It was constructed by the government in the early 1900s. Now, speaking of farms, we'll be passing 3 historic farmsteads in the house and frame barn located at the end of a long lane on your left. This was the Bushman farm, and Confederate soldiers of Longstreet's Corps passed right by those buildings in their attack on the afternoon of July 2nd. Now here's an interesting fact. The first Confederate flag was adopted in 1861 in Montgomery, Alabama. It was called Stars and Bars, but it seemed to cause a lot of confusion in the Battle of Bull Run, so a new flag was designed. The attack that afternoon, the hills to your left in the distance known as Little and Big Round Top. This is Little Round Top. General Lee hoped to strike the Union Army at both ends of the line at the same time, but his attack against Culp's Hill on the Union right didn't get under. The general nodded approval and ordered the bugler to play it from then on as the final bugle call of the evening. Can you guess what that tune was? That's right. It was that.
Yeah. Down the valley, that's where the Confederates would make their attack. Now, the Union line, the would be if you look like that road there, if you were over trees, you see a couple of monuments out there, the very top of the trees, that like that picture. About half of them are off the right and half, the other half, the only trees are all the way down to the river, and a line over along those trees, you see the Alabama State Memorial there, all that open field.
This, Jack says we're at Little Top. There was a big top and a little top, and we're at Little Top now. And this is where one of the biggest battles of Gettysburg was fought. And now that the battle's over, the view is just fantastic. So they fixed it all up for us, right?
Get a shot of those Indians down there.
Okay, got him. See him in the stagecoach? See him going? There's the stagecoach. You're going to try to bring him right in here. See it? Huh? Behind the trees. There he goes. See if I can get it on here. Whoops! I'm really
I don't think
jerking this around.
he's better at soldier because his pants are too baggy.
Okay. Maybe it was just a slum. I'll try to back this up and get some of the rocks we're looking at. Okay. Just like the cowboys and Indians, you know it?
Did you get across the valley there?
Okay, this is looking out across the valley from the Little Big Top. And the wind's blowing, and it's beautiful. Hopefully we'll be able to read this when we get it home.
Way. Union reinforcements will rush to the area, including, late in the day, the Pennsylvania Reserves, led by General Samuel Wiley Crawford. Crawford was not far from his home in Franklin County, Pennsylvania, and one of his regiments had a company of men
that were used in the Battle of Gettysburg. Speaking of horses, I don't think I mentioned that both General Lee's famous horse
was fighting a three-day battle
Bambi?
for over 3 hours on the late afternoon and early evening of July 2nd of the battle. And before nightfall, some 6,000 men were casualties here. The fighting was so confused at times that one Pennsylvania soldier was quick to note in his diary that the
You guys
reason
are
he
seeing
was
that
shot
deer
in the
back
back
there.
of the leg was not because he was running away, but because the Confederates attacked his unit from the rear. Let's continue our tour now.
Oh, okay, there he is again.
Now, Bob, baby, jump.
And make him jump again, up on the ceiling.
Keep on the lookout to our left now. In a little while, you'll see a monument with an Irish wolfhound and a self...
This is one Michigan monument. There's another one in here. I don't know where it is yet. See? 5th Michigan Infantry. Okay. This is supposed to be one of the most famous statues in here. There's an Indian coming up behind me, Jack says. This is a thick bunch we're traveling with. This is just a real nice area here. I don't see the Indians that Jack was talking about, but I think this is going to be some nice pictures.
To either army, and when it was over, the combined casualties of both armies in the fighting of July 2nd totaled about 16,500 up. At the end of the second day of fighting, Meade and his corps commanders got together for a council of war. They discussed whether they should now take an offensive or defensive role. Several of his officers argued that the Union forces should stay and slug it out, taking the defensive. By the time the powwow broke up, it was agreed that's exactly what they do. In 1863, and have been restored to look much as they did at the time of the battle. The barn
Park
is
under this
especially
tree.
distinctive and is a fine example of a Pennsylvania German bank barn. Now, let me explain that the term bank barn refers to the fact that the barn is constructed in such a way that a bank of earth allows the farmer easy access to the second floor of the barn from ground level. The ground floor would be for housing livestock, while the second floor would be for storing hay, grain, or straw, which the farmer could easily drop down chutes to the cattle below.
Move back
I've
just a
already
little bit,
mentioned
Bob,
that
'cause
this
you're
barn was
chewing gum in the
damaged during the
picture.
battle, and you can see the holes quite clearly in the brickwork above. The interesting
Very good.
diamond patterns in the brick provided an artistic touch and ventilated the grain floor.
So did
There
the
are a
holes
couple
from the
of
cannon.
markers of interest here. To our right is an upturned bill in 1895 creating Gettysburg National Park, a bill sometimes called the Sickles Bill. Serve a practical function keeping animals confined, and you may notice them along the tour areas where cows or sheep are grazing. The National Park Service leases hundreds of acres of land to use for grazing animals and planting crops, all in an effort to keep costs down. Father Corby realized that he couldn't very well conduct such services for every Catholic who might die in battle. So he adopted a ritual used during the Crusades. Minutes before his men went into action, Father Corby gave conditional absolution to some 600 Catholic soldiers. Father Corby survived the war and went on to become president of the famous Catholic University, Notre Dame. Just past the Father Corby statue and on our right stands the New York Auxiliary Monument. The state of New York, which had more men than the 62 men of that unit who fought here. Some historians believe this regiment sustained the highest loss of any regiment on either side in a single charge, for on the afternoon of July 2nd, 82% of their original complement became casualties.
There's lots to
Other authorities state that the 26th
now.
North Carolina Regiment suffered the greatest loss in this or in any battle of the entire war. Records show that it honors the more than 34,500 Pennsylvanians who
Right.
served in the battle, roughly a third of the Union strength here. And their names are listed in alphabetical order by regiment on the bronze plaques below. The statues rimming